Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Off the Deep End. So glad you could join me here today. And the person I have with me today is Olga Voncina. I'm saying that correctly, right? All right. So, yeah, Olga and I have known each other for, I think, a couple months now. She is a certified life coach and brand strategist. But as always, I want to introduce you to the person behind the title. And so, welcome, Olga. I'm so glad you could be with me here today. She is coming to us from Slovenia, correct?
Yeah.
And this makes her only the second person to appear with me from overseas, outside the States. You might remember I had Jeannie Andrew Artha on from Australia, I think last year or the year before. And since then, my guests have been from right here in the US. So again, welcome, Olga. I'm so glad you're here. I know it's the end of probably a long day there. And so I'm honored that you joined me. So tell us something about yourself that we cannot see on your LinkedIn profile, which is how we connected, I believe.
Oh, thank you, Rachel, so much for inviting me and for having me here. It's a new experience for me, I must say that. And hello to all your listeners from Slovenia, Europe. um, well, what to tell about me? As you said, I'm a certified life coach. And I'm actually at the beginning of my coaching journey. But I'm getting some some momentum and kind of like it. Um, um, I want to work with coaches who are also at the beginning, just like myself, because I know what are the struggles and what are the everything that's standing behind us, right? And I think it's the best thing to do to help my peers to so we can go on together, right?
What was it that brought you to the personal development space or coaching to begin with? A lot of times I know most coaches, including myself, we get to that path because we've been through fire a few times in a lot of different ways. And so it becomes something ingrained in us to want to help people in some sense. And you might not be sure, how to go about that exactly, but it's how we start down that path. Would you care to share with us what your story behind that coaching path is?
Yeah, sure. It's kind of a long story,
We
but
got
to make
time.
yeah, but to make it short, I found myself in, like so many women do, where I felt overwhelmed by everything, by my job. I had kind of demanding job. I still work in public sector and finances, budgeting, accountancy, and stuff like that. So this and then family and aging parents and building a house, building a family, everything was super tensed, and of course, I was losing myself. There was no time for me, for self-care, for my desires, for me, right? So I kind of started exploring what's happening to me. Why do I feel unhappy and unsatisfied? despise everything I already had, right? I had everything, but I didn't feel like happy and like satisfied. And another big kick in the ass was that I got cancer on my thyroid. Did I say correctly? Thyroid? Yeah. So, yeah, after that experience, I started asking myself, what am I doing wrong here? I must be doing something terribly wrong that I uh, called this kind of disease into my body, right? So, yeah, that was another pulse to do more exploring and trying to find out why do I feel so bad, and actually how to manage my emotions. And this is where I came across with actually self-coaching in the first place. And yeah, self-coaching really gave me a lot of insights, right? I learned that I'm not the victim of my life. It's not that life is happening to me and I'm the victim and I'm powerless. But I learned that I create my life and my um, yeah, my experience with the way that I actually see the outside world, right?
Mhm.
How do I perceive things that are happening to me? And I learned that I can change that. It's my thoughts, it's my perspective. I had it here in my brains, and it's mine, right? So if I have one thought, I can actually change it. I can made up my mind. I can change my mind. I can see the other perspective because we always there are always many perspectives to one thing, right? You can see the glass half full, half empty, right? Yeah, and this was the moment where I started being aware that it's on me. Yeah, it's everything on me. So um, I'm the one who can create the life on my design. Nobody else would do that for me.
So when you had that realization, what was the first small step that you made in that direction of completely reinventing yourself, your life path?
Well, I was I joined the program at the life coach school. Sorry,
Mhm.
and they had like yeah monthly program where you dedicated 1 month to thinking over about one area of your life. Could be relationships, could be money, could be jobs, could be emotions and stuff like that. So I did that for 1 year, for 12 months. And there was um, uh, like assignments and yeah, like assignments to do. And I had to write my thoughts every day for, let's say, for 10 minutes or something, and to observe them, right? What am I thinking? How do I feel because of that thinking? And how do I act based on that feelings that drive me, right? That drive my actions.
Yeah.
And yeah, this was very insightful because I learned so much about myself and my way of thinking because I saw that I had that old patterns in my head that just keep me in where I am, right? And if I start when I started to change those patterns to say, okay, it doesn't have to be like that. I can do it. I can see things differently. I can have a different perspective. Yeah, things started to change, and I started to change.
What would you say was the thing, the thought process, the underlying belief system that was most surprising for you to discover about yourself?
Well, one pattern that I guess I'm still fighting with is that I'm not good enough. You know, uh, I thought it was maybe because my mother was very strict woman and demanding and stuff like that, and she rarely said some good things for me, but she always told me what I didn't do. I should do it better. I should do quicker. I should do more, and I guess until today, I still catch myself thinking that I'm doing something wrong, that I'm wrong, that I just am not someone who would do things um, in the right way. And yeah, and I think that this is a very powerful thought pattern.
Yeah,
And yeah, and it's day by day I'm still peeling, the layers of it. Yeah.
yeah. What would you say is, since you've discovered that pattern and that way of thinking and how it has held you back, what would you say is a sign of growth in that area since you've discovered that about yourself?
Um, yeah, 100% it's that I um I decided I want to be a life coach. And yeah, it was kind of strange. Something magical happened because when I discovered this power of coaching, I knew in an instant that I want to be a life coach and I want that for myself and I want to share it with others. So, yeah, 100% this was one result of me starting to change and deciding for a step like that because um, it was the first thing in my life, not maybe not just the first thing, but one major decision that I did for myself because I wanted that, because um, I didn't have to, I didn't, it wasn't my obligation, kind of, but I chose it, right?
Yeah,
It was something that I want
yes,
for myself.
yes.
And I just went all in and I went through certification. It was 6 months of work. I gathered the money that I didn't have to pay that. And yeah, and then I got this certification. Yeah.
And I'm so glad you did. Because one
Yeah,
of the first way that Olga and I connected was that she coached me.
yeah, that's
And
true.
I was I was really going through a tough time, coming out of an even tougher time. And she graciously, gave me a couple of sessions. And I'm forever grateful for that and for just you, for who you are. And I've said that from the beginning. You can, I don't know, I can see it clearly in her eyes. There is this fire to want to help, to want to serve, and she does it beautifully. And once again, that I've had coaches on the show before, and I know that not all of you can relate to being a coach or having a coach, and that's okay. But I hope that you can still take away some real nuggets of wisdom here, because what she has shared with us so far about, recognizing, wait a minute, life isn't, I don't feel like I'm living life on my terms, kind of. I feel like I'm doing and I'm going and I'm doing all the things, but something's off. Something's not quite right. I don't feel like I'm walking in my purpose. Maybe you weren't even sure what that was at the time, but listen to how everything just bloomed into this beautiful path and opportunity that she's now taken. And because she has, there's this ripple effect of the people that she's serving, even as she's just starting her business. She's already making an impact. And so I invite you, my listeners, to think about that in your own life. So, where do you feel like maybe something's a little misaligned, something needs a little tweaking for you to be able to feel like you're living the life that was meant for you?
Mm.
And, for both Olga and I, it took a health crisis to get us to that point where we really got intentional about it and said, okay, something's got to change here. And
Yeah.
we made the decisions. Um, and as she just said, she invested in herself, money she didn't have even, to get to this new place where she's now freed up and serving other people. And it doesn't mean that coaches have it all together. Lord, we don't. We don't at
Yeah.
all. But some people go through coaching training simply to help themselves. They're not
Yeah.
necessarily even looking to go into it for business, right? They
Yeah.
just know there's a lot of inner work that they need to do on themselves and want to do.
Yeah.
And so um, I'm so glad that you shared that part of your journey with us. Um, and I'm guessing that along the way, as with any path that we take that is going to lead to big things and already is leading to big things, there are obstacles. And you've shared one is that sort of lingering thought that you're not good enough. And, I don't know if you got the chance to see the blog post that I just put out last weekend, but it was about how we are impacted even when we're in our mother's womb. It's when our nervous system starts developing these thought patterns and creating these stories. And it's something that we can get good at, right?
Mm.
And if you had any idea what being a coach and putting yourself out there as a coach challenges you to do, you'd understand how huge this is for someone who started this conversation by saying, I, I just didn't know what I wanted to do, and I was overwhelmed. Start any business at all, especially coaching, and you can feel overwhelmed in seconds, but she's
Mm.
still pushing through it because that's what it means to her. And so, aside from and not taking away from the challenge of that thought that you're not good enough, what are some of the other challenges that you've had to overcome to keep traveling down this path of creating your coaching business?
Well, yeah, thank you for your words and actually insights. While you were talking, I remember, I recalled a saying that building a business is like a catalyst, could be a catalyst for you because it challenges you so much in so many different ways that you really need to go deeper and find those obstacles that are standing between you and your goal, right? And yeah, I can say this is so true for me because building this business is really about my path, about my personal development, about growing emotionally and um, cleaning stuff from my, as you say, from my nervous system. And yeah, I'm doing it still every day. And when you're asking about other challenges, yeah, showing up and going out and promoting myself was a big obstacle because of this, as I told you, this underlying belief that I'm not good enough really held me back to start talking about myself, to value myself, to know that I have something that other people need and would benefit from. I didn't believe that. I thought that, yeah, I have some knowledge, but I'm totally new. I have never done that before. Who would believe me? You know, so many things in my head that I just couldn't start talking about myself. And what I really needed is to actually find my voice and find my value. To I actually needed to mm, build my story that's positive, that's good, that in which I believe that I have value and I have something to share and to help um, and that I can get paid for that.
Yeah.
So this is something, yeah, I'm still working on every day, and yeah, it's not done yet.
We're never done. That's the whole point of inner work, right? We're never done. If you're looking for something that can start and finish within your, you know, week or your day, don't get into coaching because you're never done with the inner work.
Mm,
If for no other reason, like Olga just said, to put yourself out there. Yeah. I mean, unless you're someone that just, and I know people like this, unless you're someone that's just drawn to the camera
yeah.
and drawn to the spotlight,
Mm,
uh, you're gonna have all kinds of challenges getting yourself out there in
mm,
business, whether you're a coach or anything else. But I would say, especially if you're in the personal development, helping practitioner field, because yeah, that thought always comes up. Well, who are you?
yeah.
Who are you to do what
Mm,
you're doing? Like,
yeah.
you don't have it all together. Well, guess what? You're not supposed to. You don't have to have it all together.
Mm,
In fact, I would say the most relatable people are the most effective people. And I think that's why, once again, I brought up this term, I think in the last few episodes, is conscious marketing. That's why there's such a rise of conscious marketing. And once again, that's how, and that's why I responded to Olga's initial email. Very beginning of our relationship, it was like a cold email, except it wasn't cold at all. It wasn't
right.
cold at all. Let me tell you, I turn down and I ignore and I delete and I flag as spam a lot of emails, not hers.
Well,
I could feel the authenticity coming right through the screen, and I followed up, and I'm so glad I did. because I feel like it was the start of something really beautiful here, as coaches, as friends. So you talked about obstacles. What about triumphs? What would you say is the biggest win that you've had so far, whether in your coaching business or just your life path since you started, shall we say, navigating versus reacting to what was happening in life? What would you say is the biggest win, the biggest triumph that you've had since then?
Well, personally, in my personal life, um, I just like it that my emotions are not something that would bring me down again and again and again, right? I know where my emotions are coming from, and when I pay attention, I know that I'm creating it. It's nobody's fault. Nobody is. I don't have to blame anyone else, right? For the way I feel. I know that I feel this way because of my perspectives, my thoughts. So yeah, this is something that I really like in the change that I really like in my life. But professionally, yeah, I would say that I really enjoy talking to people, connecting with you. I'm very glad that we met, that we started conversations and seeing ourselves and discussing and just look what it where we came, how far we came. That I'm your guest here. That's so wonderful. Thank you again. And I'm sure that we're gonna work together again more. And yeah, that's just something that really lights me up.
Yes.
Yeah, when I can talk to people and when I can see that I can help them, that I can give them something, right? Something that they need. This is really so good. And yeah, if I will have a chance to go to full coaching, that would be something my dreams come true. But yeah, for now I'm still in my job, full-time job, but I have this wish. I wish that one day I could go all in into coaching, because this is something that um yeah, that gives me energy. My my current job just takes me energy. It depletes me. It's not that I don't like the work or the people that I work with, but it just feels like mm, I don't belong there anymore. Yeah,
Yeah, I know the feeling. I know the
yeah,
feeling. And I'm confident that you will get that dream. You will see that happen. Because there are
yeah.
people that need you. I have no doubt. And you'll need the time to be able to find them.
That,
So, um, but then again, I'm a firm believer in the people that are supposed to find you will find you, one way or the other. Um, and you just being you, sharing your story, sharing your life, sharing your vibe will bring people to you. That I'm sure. Beautiful. But is there a client transformation story that you could share with us without sharing names or anything super personal about the person? Is there any sort of story like that you'd like to share?
um, well, I had more like uh, fragmental experiences with clients. And I one client that I called her my test client because I asked her if she would be willing uh, to be my client just for the purpose to test my program, right? Um, and yeah, that was very nice experience because this person was starting to go deeper inside. She, you know, when we started working together, she was like more on surface. She's a therapist, and um, she was talking about the techniques that she was working with, what she would offer to her people, and what would she work with them. And then she started to go deeper and to really finding her voice. Um, she was working with people with diabetes, and being diabetic herself, she started to uncover her story, how how she was ashamed of having diabetes. She didn't tell anyone, even not her mother and her family, that she had diabetes because she was so ashamed of that. Like she did something terribly wrong, and then she was hiding that for years. And then when it came out, um, she she was doing so many things, so many crazy things to manage this illness, to to be stronger than it. And it took years and years that she finally accepted what she's going through, and she started to work with that illness, not against it, not against herself. And now she says that she is a healthy person with diabetes. And after our work together, she was seeing more and more this deeper value of her experience, because it's not so much about this how to manage the, I don't know, the falling, I don't know, all this diabetes stuff, but it's all that um, emotional stuff around it, right? Because there's so much, I don't know, people have fear that they will never have their life again when they learn about this disease, right? And there's so much going on in their head, which is which could be even more, um, even harder than the illness itself, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I think that was really going in the right direction when she
Yeah.
started to uncovering that and thinking of it and speaking of it, and really bringing it to yeah, also to work, to her work with her clients.
Beautiful. And when you're diagnosed with anything, whether it's cancer, whether it's diabetes, whether it's whatever it is, there is, and you shared it too, there is that feeling of what did I do? How did I create this mess?
Mm,
And I just want to speak to that for a minute because having lived it, um, and also having learned a lot about our world and how it operates, especially in the last 5 years, I would encourage anyone who might be dealing with any sort of diagnosis to cut yourself some slack, to give yourself grace. Because while there is a place for personal responsibility, there is so much about our world that has been out of our control. And even the people who have tried to live the healthiest, cleanest life possible are still living whether they want to or not. It's just that the nature of the world we live in is still living in a toxic soup. And so I'm I think you know this about me, you've heard me say it enough times and write it enough times, but I'm a firm believer in there's always healing and there's always hope available. And sometimes that comes with a great amount of research and doing the things that the conventional world of medicine will frown on. That might all be part of your journey as it was mine. But yeah, I'm just, there is a place for personal responsibility, but there's also a place of our world and nature itself has been hijacked. It really has. And if you go back and you look at the episodes, especially with Jeannie and Nick Tucker, they go into this in great detail, probably more than you might want, but it's there. And I'm just saying that because, one thing, two things that really make a situation worse, especially physical illness, is guilt and shame.
Yeah.
You want to set yourself back in a huge way, in any way, whether it's a business venture, a relationship, or anything else, guilt and shame, I guarantee you will hijack that relationship or that business venture or the relationship you have with yourself. So I just felt compelled to say that because I know that, disclosing a diagnosis, an illness, it can be a point of shame for some people. But there's that very real piece about, it's not all in your control. No matter how hard you try, it is not in your control. All we can do is the best we can do with what we have. And, life and death aren't in our hands, ultimately. But while we are in this life, one thing that we coaches do is we help give people a different lens to look at life through. So Olga challenged this client, test client, still a client, challenged her to see her illness as a kind of a platform, kind of a vessel to be able to relate to people that are experiencing the same thing.
Yeah.
You did that.
Yeah, I think that was the hotspot of everything, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think when you come to this point that you learn things about yourself that you went through, that you're clear about it, what your experience was really about, this is your best, this is such a great value and really, because after that you start speaking from yourself, right? Not from something that you should say, or maybe I should say that, maybe people need to hear that. What's the script? What's the blueprint? What's the strategy of communication? It doesn't matter so much anymore because you start talking from yourself. It's who you are, it's what you believe. And yeah, this is I think that for coaches, this is so, so valuable when they come to this point. And this is something I would like to help people to achieve. This is my
Yeah.
goal.
Yes. And I will definitely put all your links in the description of the video so that people who want your coaching can reach out to you.
Mhm.
Um, so what could I ask you that I haven't asked you yet?
I don't know.
Sound familiar?
You're good at asking. You have wonderful questions, so just go ahead.
So what would you say to someone, Olga, who is also balancing those two worlds of working full time, but they have a dream. They have a dream. They're not sure that they're ever going to achieve it, but they have it. And so it makes it harder to be in that other space of that job or that role where they feel it's 100% mechanical. It doesn't do anything to lift them, to light them up. It's just something they have to do. How
Mhm.
would you encourage someone who's in that spot today?
I think that we as people we can manage a lot of things, right? Um, we can put on a lot, but at some level, our energy is so drained that it's not good for anyone else, not for us, like emotionally, not for physical health, and it's not good for environment too. And I think that if we have this calling, it's so good to listen to it because one way or another, you'll get this kick again and again. um, and yeah, you have to do something to follow your calling because if you don't, um, yeah, you can hurt yourself even more because when you don't have this energy, this life energy, this happiness in your life, it's it's useless, right? Your life is not following its purpose. So yeah, it's um we never know how we're gonna make it. We can we have no idea how to do it, but doing it one step after another, yeah, you get somewhere. And
Yeah.
it's worth trying and as everybody says, um, just do it. Yeah, just go on and follow yourself because you will reward yourself for doing it. You'll be for grateful to yourself for doing it. And that's the biggest reward you can have. It's not about the money, it's not about the success. It's more about being true to yourself. And that's something that's yeah, that's worth everything.
Yeah. And, my upbringing, my, I'll just say it, my evangelical background and everything else, when I hear things like that, when I heard things like that before, I would be like, oh, maybe that's a little selfish that I get what I want, what I think I need. But the fact of the matter is, people benefit when you are in that zone, in that sweet spot, in that place where you know that you have embraced and you are walking in your purpose.
Mm.
that's not just about you. That's about everyone around you and
Yeah.
everyone that they affect and they touch. So it is, and I think we both believe in the quantum realm, right? And everything is literally connected, everything and everyone, whether we want to be or not. And so there is that, it's more than a ripple effect. It is a
Mm.
direct effect and a ripple effect. Um, and so, you know, I just want to thank you, Olga, for having deciding to take those steps and have the courage to step out and do what you do to make the impact you've already made and will continue to make. Grateful that we connected and that you met me here today. Do you have anything you want to share in conclusion? Please feel free.
Well, yeah, of course, I really want to thank you again. It is so nice talking to you. I like your deep thoughts. It's not, like blah, 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 blah. Your words really have this, yeah, something in. And yeah, I'm really thankful.
Thank you again for being here. It's been so much fun. I've learned more about you and your story, which was so fun. We'll be back again soon.